Hey.
Hi guys, hope you're doing great today.
Hey guys, how you doing? We're here to respond. Of course, a lot of you probably knows it's coming from either party when something's said, just back and forth, and it's okay. Guys, I don't take this as bickering or arguing. Well, until the last before this last video was a little bit rough, some of the comments that was made on Jack's page, but we don't have to go down that road. We're
There
we're
you go.
discussing history, trying to get history clarified,
Okay.
especially dealing with the Hatfield McCoy feud, at least to the point that we can. Sheila and I made a video earlier, almost 2 hours long. I was discussing.
Yeah.
I went over
Almost.
everything there was, and
Yeah.
because for the history buffs, don't matter how long it is, as long as the history's on there. And then we decided, you know how Sheila edits, and I said this and I said that, and Sheila edits. And by the time she gets through editing, I'm thinking, poor old thing. So let's just make another video. Last
Okay.
video, we had Jack's video up. And we was stopping every 2 seconds or I was, to correct
Okay.
things. We're not going to do that. We're just going to skim through it. Um, I know everybody thinks, wow, look at that video. Jack's got DNA now. Well, you're going to see what happened there. How Jack all of a sudden come up with this? What happened here? Did Jack just out of the blue decide to go and make his ancestry page public? Did he just out of the blue all of a sudden Fred shows up on it? We'll see. I think you'll be surprised by the time you get to the end of the video. Still going to be pretty lengthy, but we'll make it as short as we can. And we'll show you we've been in contact with the DNA people that started this. Again, let me give just a little history of how this all came about. About 2 years ago, some people contacted us, two groups of people, one on Messenger and the other one on emails.
Mm-hmm.
Two different groups. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how many parties, I don't know how many people in each group, but they're DNA researchers, and they had been looking at Devil Anse's DNA, and they said that of the people that had been tested, claiming relation to Devil Anse Hatfield, that their DNA was coming back as Vance's, as a
Mm-hmm.
Vance. I heard Jack, and even in his video, he states that, so he's heard the same thing on that. And the people had went on to a Facebook page, and they'd asked people for anybody that's related to Devil Anse or claiming that they're related to Devil Anse Hatfield to
Mm-hmm.
be DNA tested. Why DNA? So it would help their studies to see if Devil Anse's background, his DNA, his Y DNA came from Hatfield or Vance or some other. I think they only had two people to compare to at the time, and I think they were coming back Vance's. Now, Sheila and I will tell you all through here,
Yeah.
and we've always said we don't know the first thing about DNA. We've
No.
learned a little bit about Y DNA. Y DNA only goes from father to son to son to son. It goes down the male line.
Mm-hmm.
Only in the males has the Y DNA, from what we understand.
Exactly.
And that's who they were needing. They were needing some of the offspring, either children or grandchildren. Well, we know none of Devil Anse's children are alive today, so it would be grandchildren, great grandchildren, great great grandchildren, so on. But
So
it would be in there. The DNA would be there. And I've always said, if studying the line of the Hatfields, Lightbury, and make one, most of the Hatfields in the area come from Eve of all. Eve of all. Eve of all had Big Eve. He had a son named Big Eve.
mm-hmm.
That's where Devil Anse come from, allegedly. Big Eve. And we hope it's correct. We'll see. Mine and Sheila's thing from the beginning was to only get to the truth. We want to see if these people studying the DNA are correct, or why
Mm-hmm.
these other people was failing to take DNA tests. If there isn't nothing wrong, why wouldn't they take a DNA? Well, again, Big Eve comes from Eve of all, and Big Eve's brother. Now, Big Eve was Devil Anse's father. Big Eve Jack's brother was George Hatfield. George Hatfield was Preacher Ant's
Mm-hmm.
father. There's more. We're going to talk about in another video because there's a Valentine, one known as River Wall Hatfield, not Uncle Wall, not Devil Ance's brother. And this
Right.
was another Valentine that was actually George and Big Eve's brother. It's where another one of these guys come from that claims they're a descendant of Devil Ants. You can't be a descendant of Devil Ants and be from a brother of Devil Ants. But we'll do that in another video.
Okay.
This DNA stuff's very interesting.
Yes, it
And,
is.
you know, for Sheila and I, because we love it. We
Mhm.
love researching. They had kicked these ladies off of this Facebook page,
Yeah.
evidently.
Yeah.
They had used some language with them that was rough. They had, I thought that people would want to know. Inquisitive minds want to know facts, especially something as big as Devil Ants. Hatfield may not have been a Hatfield. Well, we've said this in all of our videos. It didn't change who Devil Ants was. It didn't change
Exactly.
his persona, his personality, his things about him. All it changed would have been his surname, or it still may change his surname. Maybe he was a Vance. We'll get to that in a minute, but keep in mind that as of right now, no matter what Mr. Hatfield tells you, or Jack, or Jackie, no matter what Jackie tells you, that's not proof. I'll show you after a while. So our thing was that we have been asking for 2 years. 2 years for some of these people claiming to be Devil Ance's offspring, descendants. Take a DNA. Prove who you are. If you're going to be a spokesman for these tourism organizations, if you're going to be a spokesman for Hatfields or McCoys, take a DNA to prove who you are, where you came from. So there's no dispute. You are who you say you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we ask. I took one. When we first asked for these ladies come out, it's ladies. And when they first come out, and we asked for, okay, guys, we need DNA. And somebody said, why don't you take a DNA? Well, that's only fair. And what they say always has been a boss and stuff. If you're going to be a boss, you got to do what your men to do. If you're going to be in the military, you don't tell your men to do something you weren't doing, so forth. So I took a DNA. Comes back like it should have. It's posted. It's on there with Jack now. I've said from the beginning that if me and Jack, me and Rio Hatfield, me and William Keith Hatfield, who claims to be the brother to, or he claims that his ancestors was the brother to Henry Hatfield and Handsome Jack Hatfield.
Mm-hmm.
We should all somewhere in that DNA line meet. Third cousin, fourth cousin, 10th cousin. I don't know where, but we would meet. Belonged to Ancestry a long time, and none of these guys had ever come up on my Ancestry chart. And that was the confusion because one time Jack said he wasn't taking a DNA. Then you hear him say on another fellow's video that I took a DNA. Then a while back you heard him say I took 2 DNAs, 23andMe and Ancestry. Why would you take 2? There's people that pays thousands and thousands of dollars in child support on these DNAs. So they're accurate. But you might take 2 if you took 1 and you weren't happy with the results and you say, hey, I'm going to try this again. It should come back exactly the same, no matter who you took it with. So what we're going to do, instead of playing Jack's video with Missy on there, we're just going to discuss some of the highlights that Jack said. And then we're going to get up to show you some text messages. We're going to show you messages from these people that does the DNA testing and some bank receipts, some ancestry receipts, some things that took place that may explain how all of a sudden Jack come up with this DNA. He says he just happened to check. He ain't been on ancestry in a long time. It just happened to check, and he wanted to post. Well, let's see if that's true. Let's see if that's true. First of all, Misty's DNA would not qualify with Y DNA. She's a female. Your Y DNA only shows up in the males, according to these people. Jack says, this is Misty. This is my cousin. And she is the great-granddaughter. Now, he says great-granddaughter. Is that she looks younger than Jack? So is she great-great-great? Great-great-great-great-great? I don't know. He just said great-granddaughter. She looks awful young to be the great-granddaughter of Devil Anse Hatfield. Devil Anse Hatfield's sister.
Yeah.
Because she would have been around the same age as Devil Anse. So she's been dead for a long time. So that's confusing. It'd be helpful if Jack would say which one she is. Great. But he says that she's the great-granddaughter of Devil Anse's sister. That wouldn't have a thing to do with Devil Anse. Wouldn't have a thing to do with Devil Anse's DNA as far as ancestry. He's not. His sister would have been his sister, a sibling. It wouldn't have no connection. That's again, they play these magician tricks. I'm not going to go into that, but sometimes people can divert your attention to other things, and if you're not real up on it, you'll be fooled. We're not discussing Missy's mother's DNA. We're discussing Devil Anse's. We're not discussing it. The DNA people's discussing.
Yeah.
They need Devil Anse's descendants, not Devil Anse's sister's descendant. So Missy, even though she seemed like a nice person and sitting there, it doesn't relate to what we're talking about as far as Devil Anse's DNA. Jack makes a comment. I'm not even going to go there on it. He makes a derogatory comment toward me. And,
good job.
Jack, at one time, in these videos, he says, I don't want to mention his name. I don't want to say nothing else. But yet he says everything about people. Even on this one, he types my name in on the computer. He doesn't want to mention 2 or 3 times there. He acts like, but then he types my name in. Says he said he was tested 2 or 3 years ago, and which is it, 2 or 3? Because they'll tell you on there, Ancestry will tell you when you were tested.
Mm-hmm.
And debunk. He says he wants to debunk some of the things that's been said about his DNA. This debunks it. He shows a picture of me and him as cousins and says, now this debunks. According to these people with the DNA, I contacted them, and cousins would show up. Cousins would have nothing to do with Devil Anse and so forth like that. Whether it come from other family members, if we're any relation at all, and you got to understand, those were small communities back in them days, and people got around, but cousins they say that it shows millions of cousins. And so he didn't debunk anything. Once again, Sheila and I don't care.
Right.
If Devil Anse is a Hatfield. We don't care if that's DNA people. We don't care if he's a Vance. We just care for the truth. We want to know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, he hasn't debunked anything, but we're going to get to that in a minute, how he can debunk it. And not really debunk it, just prove these DNA people wrong, or at least, I don't know if you're proving them wrong. They have questioned. I've never heard none of them just come out and say specifically that Devil Anse was his DNA was totally messed up. They've said they need more people tested so they can confirm it.
Confirm it, yeah.
That there's some flaws. They say there's 2 people that's been tested, and both of them showed up as something else in their Y DNA.
Yeah.
Now, these people saying that they were kin to devil ants, and who knows? Showed what on screen? Don't understand. You know, Sheila and I corrected over the last couple of years since Jack came from Florida, moved to Sarah Ann, West Virginia, where he's not from. He's an outsider. He didn't know handsome Jack Hatfield. He didn't know Henry and Jean Hatfield. He didn't know Stephen Hatfield. He knows none of the people that's actually local historians back there. And there's newspaper editors back there. There's historians that we know and talk to on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't know none of these people. Now, if you're going to tell the history of that family, you should know the history of that family. But Sheila and I have corrected many things with documentation and proof that Jack has stated since he came to Sarah Ann. Now, he got that, honestly, he got that from some other people, Hatfields and McCoys, since 2001 that have been telling the history and been telling their story and been making themselves famous from doing some things that was nothing but publicity stunts. But we're going to cover those videos. Those are coming up. Jack says he wants to correct us, and he shows a picture of devil ants with a bunch of guys in a photo with a couple of surveying, whatever they're called. I'm not a surveyor, so I wouldn't know the proper name for them, but devil ants is standing there with them. And guys, we have corrected so many things that he could prove us wrong on if what he said was true a whole lot easier than this. This right here, the only thing that's said on this is that the coal industry didn't come into Logan County and we didn't hit the booming stage until after the feud, until after 1890.
Mm-hmm.
Feud was over with the killing of Cotton Top, February the 18th, 1890. Feud was over. Fighting was over. The coal industry didn't come in until after that, but he made the comment before, and the comment's been made, that Devil Ants was a surveyor because they have a picture of Devil Ants on this hill with some men, and there's a couple of survey things there. Guys, that don't make Devil Ants no more a surveyor than it makes me president because I've been at a Donald Trump rally. It don't make him no more of a surveyor than it does Cap Hatfield a lawyer, because he sat with his brother Willis in 1912 at a trial where Willis had killed Edwin Thornhill in 1911. Cap Hatfield sat at the defense table with his brother Willis and his son-in-law, or his stepson, Glenn Allen, I believe is his name, Glenn, who was an attorney. I don't make Cap an attorney because he's sitting with an attorney. Don't make him a surveyor. Devil Ants couldn't read and write. Devil Ants couldn't. He was illiterate. I'm not saying that to be negative. It's the honest to God fact. If you look at any muster roll, anything that Devil Ants has ever signed, he didn't even sign his name. Not even as much as his name. Even people that can't read and write, a lot of them will learn to write their name because they need to sign checks. Not Devil Ants. He signed his name with an X. So he didn't prove us wrong on nothing there. We're still saying Devil Ants Hatfield was not a surveyor. If you can prove us wrong on that with something that he surveyed and got his signature, got his X on it or something, that may be different. But how can you be a surveyor and you can't read and write and add and subtract and so forth? Went to Ancestry. He says that he went to Ancestry and he's not been there in a long time. Sheila and I love to show proof on things. We love to show evidence, and we love to prove our case.
Right.
Says he's not been to, as he's sitting there in his chair, he says, I've not been to Ancestry in a long time. And I went to Ancestry, and here's what come up. I typed in search, and he types in my name, and it comes up Fred and Jack.
Yep.
Guys, I'm going to show you some stuff here in a minute on my phone. I'm glad I took pictures of it when I did, but and I'll explain that. But he says a certain person's name come up, but I won't say the name. Well, he's talking about me.
Yeah.
Types my name in.
Yeah.
DNA match as cousins. Hatfield, not Hatfields. I'm from Preacher Ants. He says he's from Devil Ants.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this is January the 1st. January the 1st. This is Wednesday. Sunday night, we went to bed late. My back was bothering me. Laid in bed for a while and couldn't sleep. And when I can't sleep, I have spasms and bed shakes and all that. So I go ahead and get up and get in my recliner or come over here at the desk.
Yep.
I come over here and for some odd reason, I logged on to Ancestry. Now, this is December the 30th. Jack came out with this yesterday, January 1st, or today, rather. I'm sorry. January the 1st. On Monday, yesterday was Tuesday, on Monday, December the 30th, at sometime early morning hours, 1, 2, or 3 o'clock. It was after midnight because it was the 30th. Because that's what my receipt's going to show you in a minute, my bank statement. Because I went on Ancestry and it says I hadn't been on Ancestry in 3 to 11 months.
Exactly. Yep.
See, I don't stay on there just checking Jack's DNA or other people that says they have DNAs. I got other things to do, but I do periodically check. Well, it says you haven't logged on in 3 to 11 months. In fact, my membership was over. So in order to see anything, I had to give my bank card, Visa, and I had to pay $20 some, $29, whatever it was.
I think it was $24.99.
$24.99. I'll show you, and I'll show you the date. That was Monday, December the 30th. Now, Jack says he just decided to go on Ancestry, and he found and check, and he found Fred on there. Well, he's not been truthful. That's all I can say. I'm not going to badmouth Jack. Jack has taken a DNA. That's already a step farther than we've ever been, ain't it, baby?
That's great. Yeah.
At least he has taken, he's sincere. He's truthful about that.
One step closer.
He's definitely taken a DNA, and that's what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're going to ask him for something else in a minute because the DNA that he took is just a general DNA, but you'll hear that from the DNA people. But need his Y DNA to prove that Devil Ants is who he says he was and so forth. But when I logged on and I punched in the same thing Jack did, you go to up there where it says search members and you write in Jackie Hatfield. Jackie Hatfield came up this time. It says Jackie Hatfield had last been on Ancestry 1 week ago. 1 week. Not a long time ago. Jack says he hasn't been on there in a long time. Well, it told me that Jackie Hatfield had been logged on a week ago. What I think happened, I think Jack logged on a week earlier. I think he turned his DNA over to public. When I logged on the 30th, Monday, the 30th, it flagged us together when I typed his name in, showing us as cousins. I've said all along, I should be cousins with Rio. I should be cousins with William Keith if everybody's who they say they are. Again, we're still gonna do some more of this, but we showed up as cousins. Now, what I want to show you now in order to prove my case,
Okay.
because everybody thinks when they saw Jack's DNA there, they think, oh wow, look at this.
Give us the green.
Yeah, look at this. You know, I'll show that one first, kind of. Well, where's that show up at the date? Oh, right there. Monday at 12/16. That was Monday. Then I'll show you a receipt. I'll go in this order so you can see it. This was a fella was talking to, and he said these are half brothers. Now you got to understand, we made videos. Anybody can look at Devil Ants and tell he's not tall like the rest of his brothers. He don't have hair like the rest of his brothers. He don't a lot of things like that. I've always said though, doesn't really prove. That's why we need a DNA, because look at that movie, Twins, Arnold Schwarzenegger and what's it?
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
I love that movie.
There's a picture this guy sent me,
Mm-hmm.
and he's comparing. And I want you, don't worry about the picture, just look at the date. Monday at 12:16 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
This is Monday at 12:16 p.m. Now I just took that picture and saved it to the things for this
Right.
video.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, here's mine's in the green, and I'm writing him, and I say, I have found, he was asking about why Jack won't take a DNA. And then I write, and this is Monday, I have found where he's had at least one DNA, but can't see DNA bloodline. Wish it was public where I could see whole thing, but it appears he took at least one. See, I can't see his ancestry line. I could see, which is public, because you can now see that he's on there. And this guy says that means he did it and didn't like what he's seen. Now, it's absurd. Now, evidently, this guy and Jack has had some words on Jack's page, because Jack told him when he asked Jack to take a DNA, Jack said, that's absurd.
Okay.
I'm not putting my DNA out there. Huh?
I said, okay, now I understand. Yeah.
And there's that text.
Yep.
Guys, there's nothing that we say or do or talk about that Sheila and I don't care to prove or share. That's just the way we are. That's how you get to the bottom of things. This here says Ancestry.com, and there's their phone number. And there's where I logged on the other night and on Monday night. And this here tells you, it tells here December the 31st. And the reason it shows December the 31st is because that's when they took it out of the bank. But I'll show you another thing later on. Maybe it's in the next picture. This is my receipt. I always get receipts from, even if they email me, I take photos of it just to have for my receipt.
In case something happens, you'll have it.
This here, may not be able to see it real good. Basically, I'll show you the receipt first. There's where it says confirmation number, and that's confirming that what's that handshake? I had back surgery, guys, and it messed my nerves up. That's one thing. That's the text. But now look up here where it says home. Look underneath home if you can see that.
You might have to give it time to
Monday.
Yeah.
5:22 a.m. That's when took the picture of it. That's when I went back and took a picture of when of my receipt to make sure that I had that. Monday. That's December the 30th.
Right.
Guys, that's proof. You can't make this stuff up. Went back at 5:22 and I took a picture of my receipt showing that I'd joined back up with Ancestry. And I'm glad I did that now. Here's Monday at 5:49, and there's my Ancestry page where I come up. That's me down there. You're going to see one in a minute. You know, Jack posted, and right here you'll see Fred McCoy, and you'll see my hand is going to shake on you. You're going to see 3 to 11 months. Last active, 3 to 11 months. Now, when I matched up with Jack that morning, and I typed in Jackie Hatfield, he came up, and I clicked on him. It said, on his page, it said, last active 1 week ago. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Not hard to check. Would a 40-year career police officer make that statement knowing that you can go to Ancestry, and Ancestry can show you a log sheet of when you were logged on? On Jack's, it will say the time before this that he logged on to make that video, that it would say a week ago. Sheila got up. Now, she didn't get up at this time. She didn't sleep that late. But when Sheila woke up, I said, come here and look at this. She comes over and looks, because she's as much a researcher as I am and loves history. Again, this is not something that it's us against them. We're dying to prove Jack wrong or Rio wrong, or William Keith wrong or Ron McCoy or Bo. We're not.
Mm-mm.
It's not that at all.
Right.
We just want to say if these people are going to speak on the Hatfields and McCoy's behalf, they don't speak on my behalf. But if they want to speak on the other people and they want to allow it, that's up to them. When Sheila got out of bed, or when she got up moving around, I showed her that. And then later on, I think it was Sheila. Sheila says, take a picture of that. And I did. And there's what showed up on my Facebook page when I punched me and Jack in.
Yep. Sure did.
Same picture Jack's got, only I think I'm on the other side at this point because I'm the one checking.
Yep, there it says Monday. Look at that.
Monday at 10:20 a.m. That's when I took that picture. Monday, December the 30th.
Right.
Oh, Jack comes up January the 1st, and he says that we're related.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, it's hard for you to see. In that picture above Jack's head, you're going to see a little leaf
Mm-hmm.
and a little red dot above it. I wish I'd had a better picture of that.
Mm. Sorry.
And
it's about the same.
yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah.
That leaf with that little red dot, if you're familiar with Ancestry, that's called a clue or hint. A hint. When you see that little red dot up there, they're giving you a notice that, hey, click this because there's somebody underneath here that you may be related to.
Mm-hmm.
When I punched that in Monday morning at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whenever it was, I didn't take pictures till 5 something, but December the 30th, it sent Jack a notice. It sent Jack a notice because I had punched in Jackie Hatfield's name and I had searched him and we come up a match,
Mm-hmm.
and it sent Jack a red dot. So Jack clicks on that red dot and he says, whoa, Fred's checking this is my opinion. This is me talking. But I believe that. I think he said, whoa, Fred's checked this. Fred's getting ready to bring this out. Fred's getting ready to show. Now, again, if I think Jack knows more about DNA than I do, or Sheila does, because I think the cousin part, now that we found out, cousins show up from any kind of test. If your cousins are far distant relation, it'll show up.
If you take just a regular test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Y-DNA doesn't. The Y-DNA is solely from father to son.
Solely for the males. Okay.
So Jack Hatfield at that time got a notice that Fred McCoy was not only his cousin way down the line, but that Fred's on Ancestry checking this. You know, I was going through some stuff when I was doing this, and I'm going to go ahead and show this, but it says, stay away from people that act like a victim in a problem they created. You know, that's something to think about, because when I was doing this, I thought this is a problem that was created years ago. I didn't start this rumor. I didn't. It's not a rumor. It's a fact. These are legitimate researchers, and they're saying that something's wrong with Devil Ance's DNA. And then when we asked for it, nobody wanted to be tested. And if he was tested, Jack, even if he was tested later on, he marked it private so nobody could see it. Would that not raise your curiosity as researchers or investigators? Would that not raise your curiosity that somebody's trying to hide something? Created a problem for themselves. The problem was created when people was trying to be so hiding their DNA because it looked like, or taking 2 DNAs, it looked like something was suspicious. Still might be, guys. Listen, I hope Jack is correct. I hope he's wanting to be related to him and he's wanting Devil Ance to be a Hatfield. That's I don't blame him for that, but we want to know for a fact. The test that Jack took is not going to give us a fact yet. Maybe he'll hang with it and work with these DNA people, and maybe they can come back and show us that Devil Ance was a Hatfield and Jack is his great-great-great-grandson.
That would be awesome.
Jack says in that video, he said, I sent Fred a mean message. Well, I don't know what Jack considers mean. I didn't know if I should be scared or not when I was going to read this message, but I don't think it's mean. It says, apparently, you don't seem to know how to search your DNA matches on Ancestry. Shows we are a match as cousins. You know, guys, what Jack was doing here, he wanted to make a log. He wanted to act like he contacted me. This is January the 1st. This is dated January the 1st, 1:04 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I could have texted him at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning on December the 30th and said the same thing. I didn't. Actually, me and Sheila, that morning, when she got up, I got ready to text one of the DNA people that I talked to, and you'll see in a minute, you'll see the log. I was going to let them go in and check. Now that you got somebody test, can you see if this is devil ants?
Mm-hmm.
Sheila and I talked. We didn't make or at that time wasn't going to make but 3 New Year's resolutions. One of them was to get off this Hatfield McCoy.
Yeah.
One of them was to get away from this Hatfield McCoy stuff because you argue too much. It messes up your religious. I ain't backslid yet, but I've been close to it.
We just have to work a little bit harder, is all.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. But
That's okay.
now that was our New Year's resolution, one of them.
Yeah.
Other one's not to eat so much, walk more,
get more active, yeah.
More active. And other one was to go to church. That
Yes.
was 3.
Yes.
And but Jack sent this message, and I wrote back. I contacted the people, the DNA people. You'll see the messages in a minute. I'm going to show them to you. But they told me what to do, and I wrote back to Jack on message on Ancestry, and it says, thanks. Sheila and I found this 3 days ago, apparently after you made your DNA public, or at least logged on to Ancestry. With that said, one of the DNA people who first stated devil ants may not be a Hatfield has asked me to ask you if this DNA you took was the Y DNA test. That's what they asked me, and that's what I asked Jack. Now, here's mine and Jack's correspondence. Mine's in the green. Jack's is in the white.
There you go.
And it's and that's it. Jack's message wasn't mean.
Right.
Here's I think this is the one that Jack done, that he posted on his. Yes. Well, January the 1st. January the 1st.
Okay.
Now, guys, I sent that to Jack. Haven't heard nothing back yet.
Right.
And we'll see
what his response is.
My thing to you all is, did Jack find anything, or did Fred and Sheila? Did Fred, because Sheila was in bed.
Yeah.
When I was
I like my sleep.
And when Jack got that little hint up there that says Fred's related to you, because I logged in. And when Jack made his, what I assume, when Jack made his DNA public the week before, where it said he'd been on our week before, he made it public. And when he made it public, and then I logged in by chance, checking for updates on DNA, then there it is.
Yep.
Now, I contacted the DNA people, and I said, Jack Hatfield, I did this after Jack made his little video. And Jack Hatfield has taken a DNA. Can you and the DNA group check the Y-DNA you were talking about being a Vance? Or does this prove devil ants was a Hatfield? See, guys, Sheila and I have never made this that we want it to be one way or the other. Now, everybody knows I'm not a fan of devil ants. There was a lot of things, Abner Vance and people back in the day. There's a lot of but all we want is the truth. We just want we don't care how it turns out. I think I tell her that later on. And I've told her that before. I've put it on these videos. Sheila and I don't care one way or the other.
Exactly.
We just don't like people hiding or not taking the DNA, and just made us more suspicious.
Well, with the question being brought up, that makes you curious.
Of course. And that's what got us a couple of years ago. It's taken 2 years. My question would be, what's taken so long? Anyway, she says, I can see if there is or something. How does he add up? It'll be on the next text. You can read that one. Now, guys, it says yesterday
Mm-hmm.
there
Oops, go to that one. There you go.
because we done the video and we're just redoing it. We weren't happy with that video.
Exactly.
And she said, I can see if it's there. How does Jack descend?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any Jack Hatfield under the project. Now, the project is the Hatfield Project, the Devil Anse Hatfield Project, from what they told us years ago that they're working on. Devil Anse Hatfield's bloodline, ancestors,
Mm-hmm.
and descendants. I don't see Jack under the Hatfield Project. Do you know when he did the testing, I can let Karen look at it and see if she can find it. Now, Karen is another researcher
Mm-hmm.
with the DNA. There's the lady's name at the top
Yeah.
that we've been talking to for years. She's one of the DNA researchers.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, he says he tested a year ago, but looks like he just made it public because it's showing him and I related. I checked Monday and it was up. Said he had logged on a week ago. So that may be when he made public. That's me to her. That's the DNA person. So that may be when he made it public. And then I show her a picture of, this was probably the one I took because I'm over on the left.
Right. It's
And this is one I took her. He took one.
I think it's you.
And it says Jackie Hatfield. Okay, let me know. And I said, thanks. What is that on? And I said, Ancestry. She's asking where he took his DNA test at. Oh, and she says, I'm waiting for Karen to respond. So it might be later tonight before I get back to you. If he's matching you like that, it doesn't look like he took the Y.
Right.
Can you show me where it says he did the Y? Well, see, I don't know anything about this stuff. Me and Sheila, either one. That's why we
That's for
contact
sure.
these people. This is not our thing. And it
Mm-mm.
says the Y DNA. And I said, thanks. Now, here, that is the message that he sent saying you don't know your history. He messaged me on what's called on January the 1st. Again, I logged on December the 30th. And it says paternal match. Isn't paternal on the mother's side, I think I say. It'll be on the next page. Mother's side. Yes, but the Y-DNA only shows surname matches from him to his dad's dad, and back. Cousins wouldn't be listed under Y-DNA. I'm sorry, babe, I got that right in your face.
Oh, I ain't worried about that.
Cousins wouldn't be listed under Y-DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I wish I understood this better.
Yeah, me and you both.
Yeah, me and Sheila both. We, again, this is not our cup of tea, but we know how to contact people. And, well, they contacted us initially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wish I understood this better. LOL. Does this prove Devil Anse was a Hatfield? He says it does. I say, it really doesn't matter to me. Either way, when I say me, I mean me and Sheila. We speak for each other.
Yeah,
We're together
we're
on this. I said, it really doesn't matter to me either way. But now that it's been questioned and he has made his test public, can you guys confirm?
Right.
Confirm either way. We don't care. We don't care if he's a Devil Anse, could be a McCoy. We don't care. Didn't change Devil Anse's persona or who he was. He was still a deserter, a coward, and a thief and a murderer. He was. He went to his grave. She's kicking me. He went to his grave with warrants on him from Kentucky. That's nothing that I see about bragging. But let's go on with this. She says they wouldn't listen because it matches under Y-DNA. So he has had the regular, all the autosomal test.
Yeah,
not
something like
Y.
that.
This is her talk. Cousins match, she said. No, it does not prove that Devil Anse was a Hatfield. It just proves that he is related to him. See, he could be Devil Lance's cousin, or I don't know. Guys,
Mhm.
I'll tell you what, in my mind, I'm thinking that Jack, I'm so glad Jack took the test because me and him are related somewhere. So that shows there's some Hatfield. I'm half Hatfield.
You're both,
It
yeah.
not only confirms I'm half Hatfield, but confirms that he is. So, or we wouldn't be matching.
Right.
So I'm hoping he's right. That's fine. He's got one more test to take, according to these people. Did I show that one yet?
I'm not sure.
You guys have to stop your TV, and I'm not going to hold up there for a long time. So, to him in some, he's related to him in some way. She says he would have to take the
The Y.
DNA
Mhm.
match to Devil's grandson.
Mhm.
Tell me again where he descends from, and ask him specifically what type of test he took. Y DNA. She corrects herself.
Yeah.
I think she's talking through her mic.
She's doing a voice
Yeah,
text, and
because
it's
somewhere there it said wire, W-I-R-E, wire DNA, and then she's correcting it here, Y DNA. I knew what she meant, or we did.
right.
You know, I can't hardly. Somebody told me one time, said you got the thickest hillbilly accent I've ever heard. Well, I don't know how I sound, so I don't know if I sound like a hillbilly or not.
That's why Siri has a hard time understanding.
I know
us.
that, huh?
That's why Siri has a hard time
Siri has
understanding.
a hard time understanding us, and even on here when I used to try to record, I would say something and then look at it to make sure it was correct. And I'd think I just had a stroke. I didn't know what I said. So if you took the Y DNA
Mhm.
test, it would prove your paternal line all the way back as far as you can go. Now, I had a woman ask the other day on the phone if how far back does the DNA go? Well, according to this lady, it goes as far back as you can go on your dad's side.
I was gonna say on
with
the
just the
dad's.
males
Mhm.
that your dad descended from, only through your grandfather and your great grandfathers way back. Now this is going to get interesting. Hang on, if you're a true history buff and you want to know the facts of what Jack is saying there, we're going. This is it. It doesn't do cousins. It doesn't do any of that.
Right.
If you and I take a test and it shows that you and I are related, then that's a autosomal test. I'm going to send you his contact so you can explain it to him now that he's taken the test. I say, I'm in the blue. See, once again, guys, I'm not trying to, I want it to be proven one way or the other. I told her, instead of me going through, because I've already texted Jack and asked him that they want his, want to know what kind of test he took.
Yeah.
And autosomal. I'm going to send you his contact so you can explain it to him now that he's willing to test, which I think is great on Jack's part.
Yeah.
Can you ask him real quick what kind of test he took and ask him if he took the Y DNA? This is her.
Yeah.
Kind of test he took? Did he take the Y DNA? He's not responding, I said. And she says, let me show that, then I'm going to show you the diagram. Okay. I'm going to try to blow this up.
There you go.
This is Karen. This is another DNA person.
Right.
If you look at the top, you'll see Karen.
Uh-huh.
So Karen has sent her and Ashley, our correspondent, and it says, no, Jack Hatfield yet that shows up by his name. He may have only listed his kit number. See, there's two people here that's listed under under Devil Lance Hatfield.
There you go.
See that two little bitty lines there?
Yeah.
Those two names in between there, or two kit numbers. That is actually
Ruh-roh, Raggy, what'd that do?
I don't know, do you?
I've never seen you do that before.
Here we go.
Whew.
So
never seen it.
So there's what she sent, the chart. And those two little bitty lines there, that shows that there's two people that has tested under Ance Hatfield that says they're related to him or he's related to them or whatever, and they come up something else. It don't have a name. It's just got the kit number.
Right.
First, I thought maybe Jack had done it as a a kit number instead of his name, but
Mhm.
I don't believe that. I think that was on there originally when they first contacted us 2 years ago. That's what raised their curiosity
Mhm.
to start checking and asking for.
The
It says
males.
here at the bottom, no new descendants of Devil Anse Hatfield. It says there's no new descendants of Devil Anse Hatfield that's taken a DNA. So,
Hmm.
way I take that, even if Jack's took a DNA, it's not showing him up, Jackie, it's not showing him up as a descendant of Devil Anse Hatfield. Guys, I'm ignorant when it comes to DNA. I'm showing you what
What
they're,
she's saying, yeah.
and this is from Karen. Look at the main top.
Mm-hmm.
And Karen has sent it to Ashley, and Ashley sent it to us, but it says no new descendants. So, in other words, where me and Jack showed up as cousins, and she said he can go up to millions, go, any kind of relation
As
on that one test.
as for cousins, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as descendants, see, it might have showed up for Jack that he's related to Devil Anse Hatfield, but that could be another blood, a cousin, whatever it might be. I don't know. I'm just speaking.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I pay attention to is that she wrote here is no new descendants of Devil Anse Hatfield. And guys, you got to understand that's what raises mine and Sheila's curiosity. I think these
Sure.
people, I don't think they have a dog in the fight. I don't think they're trying to prove Devil Anse is a Vance, is a Hatfield, they're like us. They're researchers of DNA. How anybody can get into this stuff, this is way above my head.
Ooh.
But this is what they enjoy doing, evidently,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if there's two different groups. I've got emails from another group
Mm-hmm.
where they've come up with the same thing. That's what raised curiosity. It's not just one group of researchers. There's also another group. And again, they've got the charts. They've got the studies that they've been doing,
Mm-hmm.
the files. And she says, no new descendants. If Jack is a descendant and he's taking a DNA now, why is he not showing up for them? Well, we're thinking that's the DNA, so we'll see that in a minute. No Jack Hatfield yet that shows up.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. He didn't do
The
the Y DNA.
Y-DNA. Uh-huh.
He's only done the regular testing to find relatives, and that can mean millions and millions of different lines.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to find out for sure if he relates to Devil or Devil's grandsons,
Mm-hmm.
he has to take
The Y.
the Y DNA, is what she's going to say on the next page. I have a feeling. To do the Y DNA, it says wire, W-I-R-E. I think that's her. Then she
And then
corrects
she
it down here. It
corrects
says
it. Yeah.
Y.
Yeah.
Otherwise, his name would be on the list. If he was actually a descendant and he had taken the Y DNA, he would show up as Devil Anse's descendant. And I said, thank you. You can go on history and ancestry and see that it's just a cousin type of DNA that he did.
Okay.
This is not mine, it's Sheila's words.
Mm-mm.
This is
Mm-mm.
hers. This is people that knows what they're talking about, or at least we're hoping they do. And it sounds like they do.
Mm-hmm.
I said, thank you. And she said, welcome. Same text, just welcome at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You can go on history and find it, welcome. If you talk to him, this is her to me. If you talk to him, tell him that if he really wants to prove that he is a Hatfield, he has to do the Y. Now, this is what I've been getting, Sheila and I, for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Messages back and forth from these people that's doing the research.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the good thing about this, at least Jack has stepped forward.
Yeah, that's great.
Supposed descendant out there that has stepped forward to be tested. And it may very well prove that Jack is his great, great, great grandson. And it may prove that he's not. That's still not been proven yet. Sheila and I don't care either way.
Mm-mm.
I said, thank you. She said, you can go to history. Okay, did that again. That's the same text.
Okay, yeah.
If you talk to him, tell him. And I said, I will tell him. Thanks again. Hopefully he is sincere and will follow through with his Y testing.
Mm-hmm.
So Jack, I watched Jack's videos, and he watches ours evidently because he responds to them, him and other people. And there's where I say, I will tell him. So, Jack, I'm informing you that she says that if you want to prove anything about devil ants, you have to take a Y-DNA. I think Jack is probably up to that. If he's tested already a DNA, and especially if he's taken two, hopefully he'll take the Y, and this can be settled one way or the other. And I said, I will tell him. Thanks again. Hopefully he will be sincere. And she said, yes. Is he a grandson of one of Devil Ance's children?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, he says he is Devil Ance's third great grandson.
Yep.
I'm hoping Jack understands this here. This may give Jack a better understanding of what we've been doing. This is not something for Fred and Sheila. Give all of them, the ones that we've asked.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you something, guys. While I was doing this research on Jack, I also punched in some other names.
Yep.
Also got some response where they've either taken tests or they've made their test public. And you're going to find at least one of them very interesting. One of the most very interesting ones that he hasn't taken a test. He's still no show. But the other one that has taken a test I'm going to show you a document where he says he's a descendant of Devil Anse Hatfield. Document's going to prove that he's not. But that comes in another video, but it's going to be interesting. So
later time.
We don't, huh?
At a later time?
At a later time. Guys, we don't want to. I know it seems like some people say, oh, they're troublemakers. Is it true?
Yeah.
I'm sorry you feel that way. I don't think it's troublemakers. I think it's history. This is a history-making moment. Somebody has made the claim that Devil Anse Hatfield was not a Hatfield.
Mm-hmm.
Hatfield and McCoy feud? Would that not? It ain't going to change the feud. It's not going to change Devil Anse's personality. It's not going to change what he did.
Who he was, yeah.
But is that not mind-boggling that somebody may have stepped out?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody may have had some problems within the family. There's so many different things that it could be. I mean, anybody's family. I'm talking generally. But let your mind work back in that day and time, and who knows? Jack is going to be able to prove all of that wrong. He's going to be able to clear it all up, or he's going to be able to open up a bucket of worms one, because if that's so, there's a lot of people that's not what they think they were.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yes, he is the grandson of Devil Anse. He says he's third great grandson. He's from Devil Anse's son, Robert Lee Hatfield.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Jack says. That's what I told her. Well, Devil had several children, and the two that did not show up as Hatfields, I think, were the two of the younger ones.
Ooh.
There's the text. And guys, I'm going to tell you, the youngest one, Tennis Hatfield, his last two kids was Tennis and Willis. And Tennis Hatfield owned that club at Cow Creek, Barnabas.
Yeah.
He was the sheriff.
He
burnt Randall's Devil Anse and Levice's house down for the insurance. He got financial. He went to prison for it or served time or whatever. But she's saying here that there's definitely some discrepancies with some of the children, especially the youngest two. Well, we know there is with Tennis, because that one person that's not taken a DNA yet, that's supposedly his mother and father was supposedly Tennis and Sadie. We've had people tell us that's not correct. We've had people tell us that Henry Hatfield and Handsome Jack, Stephen's dad, would laugh and tease him because he was not a real Hatfield, So I don't know. I don't know if I showed that one yet or not. If I haven't, there it is. We're almost done, guys. I don't know his kids very well, but it's possible that some of them were from Devil and some of them weren't. And I could have, I think that's what she meant. Some of them weren't.
Yeah, weren't.
Grandsons were. We don't know for sure. Would you care to call me? And I gave her my number and asked her to call. I'm at a New Year's family event. Can I try later? again, this is New Year's Day when Jack put this out. This is January the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, sure. And she puts the top part of this next text,
Mm-hmm.
and it says Family Tree DNA.
Uh-huh.
And it says, you can send this to Jack.
Mm-hmm.
The Y test used to be $300,
Uh-huh.
and now it's $99.
That's good.
I will try you later tonight. And I said, thank you.
Wow. Yeah.
Guys, Sheila, you don't have a dog in this fight. Ever how it turns out, fine with us. We're just going to be glad to see some results. And again, when we do this next video and show you a DNA that we found and a document, another document, you're going to say, wow, we can see how that would change something.
Mm-hmm.
We don't mean to be disrespectful, not trying
Not
to be
trying to be.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's right. Go ahead, baby. I'm
not trying to be. We're just trying to figure out the true history.
The true, ancestry of descendants and devil ances. Again, this was brought to our attention. We didn't go out one day and say, hey, let's go out here and not that I want to brag on devil ants. Anybody knows me knows devil ants was a mean person, manipulating person, instigating person, and I don't respect him for what he did to a family. I don't care if it was McCoy. I'm half Hatfield.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me and Jack sitting there together. I wouldn't be on that screen with Jack if I didn't have Hatfield blood in me.
Right.
So hopefully he'll get all this straightened out and show us who Devil Ants is. Easiest thing is for Devil Ants to actually be a Hatfield. For Devil Ants not to be a Hatfield, that means that Devil Ants is, that means that Big Eve is not Devil Ants' father. Is that possible? Anything's possible in life. We all know that. But practical or probable? I don't know. What threw us off is where people was refusing to be tested, or they were testing and they were keeping their results a secret. Why? I said the other day, I said, well, if I was Ken, if Jack had a test and it come back right, he would be out there flashing it.
Yep.
He still wasn't out there flashing it. And, I could be wrong. But if you look at Missy, Jack asked her, said, Missy, that's right, ain't it? The Y-DNA. I had the Y-DNA. And she said, well, I don't know a lot about why. I think Jack knows, and I think Missy knows. That's my opinion. They may not, but I think Missy didn't want to put her foot in her mouth and something come out later on, because according to these people, it was it's the Y-DNA that he needs to take for that. Guys, we have no hard feelings toward anybody.
Right.
We love history. We love the Hatfield McCoy research we do. We love proving people wrong. People love proving us wrong. If we say something that's incorrect and wrong, show us proof and we'll correct it.
Sure will.
The credit. That's
yeah.
Again, Jack shows a picture there of Devil Ants on a hill where they've said before that he was a surveyor, because there's a couple of survey things there and they automatically say he's a surveyor. Well, there's a black guy standing next to Devil Ants in that photo. Does that make Devil Ants black? That's what you're saying. Because he's standing next to me. And Sheila took a picture in Cape Canaveral years ago of us standing with a daggone missile in the background of spaceships.
Rocket.
Make us astronauts. You see, not trying to be mean. And no matter, some people don't want to answer questions, or some people wants to tell history that's not correct. If you don't want us to correct you, please watch. We've got over 500 videos. Watch those videos and don't pick you out a video where we say we don't have evidence either way, because if there's no evidence either way, you can say what you want as well as anybody else, I guess, because we can't prove you wrong. But if we're standing there holding a document that says Devil Ants was 5'6", or Ellis and Hatfield stole 4 pigs in 1867, then don't come on there and say Ellis and Hatfield never stole a pig, because we beg to differ with legal documents.
Yep, we have the proof.
Don't say Devil Ants is 6 foot 3 or whatever he is when we have the document. Don't say he was a captain when we have a document that says he was a private. Several documents, not just one. Don't say he was a war hero, captain, and a war hero when it shows rebel, deserter. Don't pick those items out. Pick you something else. But if you say something and we can prove it wrong, don't get mad at us for proving it wrong. That's what we enjoy doing. We mostly enjoy just keeping history straight. Again, they got a monument of Devil Anse Hatfield, Pike County Tourism on Blackberry Creek, 1,000 feet from where I was raised. I was born at Clemson Memorial Hospital, but that's where I was taken to when I was 3 days old. Lived all my life there till I went to Marine Corps at 17.
Yep.
Right up the road. You can walk to the Left Fork Bridge and look down and you can see the monument at the fish pond. They've got Devil Anse Hatfield, a West Virginia murderer, thief, and deserter, all this and that. They got him facing the road. If I still lived on Blackberry, I would have to pass that every day, going to work, going to school, wherever you go. You got to pass Devil Anse Hatfield facing the road. You got Randall McCoy, a victim. A victim. Burned his house down, killed half his family, beat his wife. They got him facing the hillside on the back side of that monument. Got Devil Anse and Cap here. Got Rosanna here. Randall on the back.
Yep.
Victimized all through his life and in his death. Got a murderer. A man that went to his grave with murder once on him. And you all wonder why I get. I don't care. I don't care if it's, and I know you don't believe this. I don't care if it's the other way around. I don't care if it's not because I'm a McCoy, because I'm half Hatfield. I'm glad that I'm half Hatfield because people can't say, oh, you're just taking up for the McCoys. That's because he's a McCoy. Listen, Charles Manson's kin to the McCoys. People says, do you ever say anything bad about the McCoys? Charles Manson.
That's pretty bad.
How much worse does it get? It's not about the Hatfields and it's about history. Devil Anse, everything I've said about Devil Anse that we've said, or I've said mostly because if it's bad, but she knows I'm telling the truth. She knows she's done
exactly.
The research too. She's looked at the same stuff, and
you can't change it or shouldn't try to change it.
When we do this next video on this next DNA that we run across the same day, see again, we were going to. That was our New Year's resolution. There was no more Hatfield McCoy.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Now that we've responded to this, we're going to go ahead and throw another one because while I was on there the other morning, I also saw another DNA. And I'm going to cover that in the next video. And you'll see why it's so important that if we say we're related to somebody or we're famous and we're signing guns and we're signing peace treaties as a descendant of Devil Anse Hatfield, then we should be descendants of Devil Anse Hatfield. You're up, baby.
Thanks.
Thank you guys. No hard feelings. I don't know how many times I can say that. Thank you, Jack, for taking the test.
That's right. Good job.
If you would, one more thing. You're already in there with the DNA. You're already Hatfield. That's great. Now take the Y DNA and let's see what Devil Anse comes back as. I'm hoping since you've stepped up and you have done this, and you've got a supposed cousin out there from another brother that says and stood there in Pike County Tourism. He's made all kinds of, and he very well may be. I say this every time I cover myself because he very well may be. But he says that he's this and that. He's not taking the DNA. It's showing on his that none taken. None taken. It's not private. He's not taking one. Why not? Why has he not taken one? Jack stepped up and took a DNA.
Thank you. Good job.
Kudos.
Yep.
Kudos. You're up, buddy.
All right. Guys, we hope you're doing okay today. Please stay warm. We're supposed to get some snow tomorrow, a little bit anyway, dusting. And then it's supposed to get colder, but stay warm. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you on the next one. God bless.
Guys. Thank you.
Here we go.
Except for that one little mix-up. It's ready.